Hey guys, Paul Morrow here again, doing a 3-minute recap for Monday, 20 October. Here we go. So, over the weekend, we had the No Kings event. It's still making some news. I think it'll wane now. It'll come and go. I don't really think it's all that relevant. I think the thing really was an enormous group hug for the Dems, who were just tired of losing, frankly, and were looking for a little bit of group therapy. If you read the ops desk, you know my take. I ended up having to wander into it because I had to jump out of the car coming back from Fox because of the traffic. And as a result, I ended up in the middle of it. And what struck me was how old and white the marchers were. Undeniably, that was the demographic. All of them? No, of course not. But that was definitely the theme. And, look, it was peaceful, all right? I didn't see anybody being violent, but it was not entirely benign. All right, let's not kid ourselves and don't let the media gaslight you. First of all, there were way too many of these Nazi references. Trump's a Nazi, he's the Fuhrer, this is the Third Reich, and just what an idiotic minimization of what the real Nazis did. They killed 9 million people, never mind what they caused in the war. Compared to this administration, however much you dislike it, there's no comparison. You come across as either ignorant of history or just really deranged. And Robert De Niro's now picked that up for Stephen Miller, who happens to be Jewish. It's just idiotic. It doesn't compel, knock off the Nazi stuff. There was way too much of that, and there was a lot of it. Another theme, anti-Israel, undeniably. And when you consider that this was done in the midst of a ceasefire, then what do you want? Very clearly, there's a definite theme of anti-Israel there, and it's the river to the sea stuff, and we all know what that means. And then lastly, and maybe because I'm a child of the Cold War or something from when I was a kid, but you know what? Way too much communism. American Communist Party was officially represented there. They were handing out flyers and a lot of socialist groups. Here is the World Socialist website. No kings, no Nazi Führers, mobilize the working class. I was handed this by a couple of pink hairs, and there was a lot of that, and I'm just not cool with it. To me, if these days, in this day and age, you're an absolute communist, an outright card-carrying communist, you're an idiot. You're just ignorant of history. It doesn't work. It's never worked. You're either ignorant of history or human nature or both. And I don't want it. And from where I sit, the real point of the No Kings thing was as an x-ray into where the Democratic Party is going. Now, the other thing is Donald Trump was asked about it on Air Force One, and he made the comment about George Soros funding it. Guys, we've talked about it here. That's a tell. They're going after Soros's organization hard. Open Society Foundation, and others like that. Expect that RICO. That's going to be historic. He's about to throw light on this whole dark money thing. If you haven't seen it, you got to check out the podcast with Ryan Morrow, no relation, because he did the report that inspired this DOJ investigation. It's going to keep going. Paul Morrow for the Ops Desk.